Welcome back. Today I'm discussing the emotions that correlate with breast health, breast issues. And so, with the mindset when it comes to the breast hold the emotion of nurture, being able to nurture. Just think of a newborn baby and a mother nurturing that baby as the baby sucks from the breast. It's the core of our human experience, ability to be nurtured by one's mother. Many in life miss that opportunity altogether due to the last 50 years of formulas being created and so forth. And so that first bond or attachment style to one's mother, it has been omitted altogether. And then it comes to one's sexual partner. There can be a nourishment aspect from touching the breast and so forth. And it's the emotion of wanting to be nurtured. And then one has children and the cycle repeats itself. You then can breastfeed your children and form that bond and nurture one's children. And for men as well, there's still a nurturing aspect. Yes, it's more common for women to develop breast cancer, breast lumps, breast cysts, breast disease altogether, breast soreness. But if there is a huge conflict going on with the man as well, a man and his mother, and the relationship with his mother, or even if I've seen too a man nourishing at such a young age, nourishing his siblings, or there to nurture his siblings and provide that sense of nourishment from such a young age, that can also occur. So it's an imbalance of that mothering and nurturing and nourishment aspect. And so when there is that imbalance, cysts, lumps, excessive growth can then occur on either breast. And so the mindset to become aware of is asking yourself some questions. If you or you know someone who is dealing with some breast issues, is how do I actually nurture myself? Am I overprotective or overbearing in my motherly aspects to nurture others? Overprotective can create a conflict. Also, over worrying. Am I constantly over worrying for my offspring, my children, or my spouse? That can also create the conflict. It doesn't necessarily need to be with one's children. Over worrying for their partner or over worrying for their mother or father can also create a conflict within the breast. And so overbearing attitudes, over mothering, over protection is going to create an imbalance. We want to create a healthy balance of observing, not absorbing somebody else's issues, our children's issues, our parents' issues, observing, not absorbing their issues, and going inward. Yes, perhaps you're a mother and you're there worrying about your children. It's inevitable, right? If you're a mother, you're going to worry about your children, but bringing that fine balance of, okay, I nurture and nourish them, but also I nurture and nourish myself. And so that's where the imbalance can create disharmony and dysfunction within the cells. It's bringing the balance back within the system. Okay, nurture and nourish everyone, but also returning it back to self. How do I nurture and nourish myself at the end of the day? At the beginning of the day, throughout the day, not once a year, not once a month, but daily. Am I nurturing and nourishing myself with compassionate words? Am I being kind to myself? And also nutrients. How many mothers are feeding their children, worrying about their spouse, and they forget to eat. they forget to nourish themselves. So your cells are listening, and so respond appropriately and sit with this and say, okay, I'm having this issue with my breasts. It's time for me to slow down. And the body is giving you a sign that it wants you to slow down and give it proper nutrients, give it proper care. Think of too, the breasts represent your home. It's very nurturing. And so are you neglecting your home? Not the actual physical place where you sleep. Yes, that's one aspect. Are you neglecting your home in that sense? But are you neglecting your actual bodily home? Also, with the breasts, I have seen abandonment of actually not having their mother there for them. And say it was because a parent has now passed away. And so that loss and the prolonged state of not being able to accept the loss can then create the lack of ease in the body of that grief, sorrow, remorse, and wanting one's mother back. So it's a separation conflict of, I don't agree that we are no longer together and we're separate. It can also happen in the other way of a mother and a child, son, daughter, who have a separation or a loss of that connection, or because of an argument, a fight, where the mother no longer talks to their child because of disagreements. And so that can also create the imbalance. It's like, oh, I'm pissed off with them. No, I'm not talking to them. But the body keeps the score, and the body actually wants to create peace and amends, even if they're not in each other's life anymore, just to create harmony and peace with that connection. Distant, but at peace with it. Or if it's distant and not at peace with it and still in that argumentative blaming aspect, they're to blame, it's their fault, or getting all the blame thrown onto them and then guilt being created, then that can also create that lack of ease. So it's moving and sliding into acceptance of what is, and shifting one's ability to self-nourish and release any overprotective attitudes, any overbearing attitudes, will ultimately shift the cells in the psyche to say, okay, reharmonize and create new cells that are healthy, strong, balanced cells, not holding on to guilt, not holding on to worry and fear, or the overbearing attitude of blame and shame, and that grief of missing one's parent so much, to where now the conflict is creating that imbalance even more so. And so shifting that into the healing mode. And so this is something to become aware of. And then the affirmation with that, which can be tapped. This can be tapped into the thyroid meridian, right between the ring finger, pinky finger, and you're going to tap this, which is stimulating the meridian that runs up. And this is bringing back your personal power. And so this is about empowering you to take back your health and your stamina, your energy, your vitality. And so the affirmation here is, I am freely able to nurture myself and people around me, and to care and nurture the places that I consider home. You can do this with your eyes closed. Close your eyes now. I am freely able to nurture myself and the people around me, and to care and nurture the places I consider home. And so it's bringing that back into the subconscious and telling the body, hey, I'm ready to take care of you now, and I'm ready to support you, nurture you, and nourish you, to then create ease within the breast tissue and balance in both breasts.